So if that's the case with it, then this whole contract, the county is responsible for everything in this contract.
That's
So,
exactly right.
so if you interpret it that way, then we're also responsible to pay the camp host.
No, I think it actually specifically says in here that BOR pays for the camp host.
Well, the manager pays for the camp. Manager shall pay propane for the camp host.
Propane, yes. She does pay all that.
Manager shall pay for the services of the camp host. The camp host shall be on site from May 15th to September 15th of each year. Page 5.
Well, maybe she does. I thought that BOR did, but they're not actually paid, is my understanding. They have free use of the campground and the propane. Years ago, not too many, BOR actually did the advertisement, so regardless. I do know that Sharon does actually direct the camp host, so maybe she is now the one who is responsible for hiring and paying them any fees that she chooses to pay them. But she does have a really good camp host, which is to our benefit regardless. Yeah, I don't see anything specific in here to the campground host. That's not to say it isn't in here, but regardless, it helps Sharon, JSJ, do the job that we need done.
Excuse me.
And that is not paid from the silo sinking fund.
For what?
The silo sinking fund, that's the 10% that we take from the silos.
That's
That
what
is,
this is paid out of.
right, yeah, that's for capital, not for, it's never been used to pay for any campground host that I've seen before.
So do we maintain the insurance out there?
I think
Liability?
that's, I don't know, let me check.
But just reading here, it says the manager shall maintain the liability insurance of $1 million.
Yeah, very well may be part of our liability insurance. Because I can't imagine, and what I would bet is we both have it, both BOR and the county, because if somebody wanted to sue, they're gonna go to the deepest pockets, that's the federal government and the county. County will require all contractors and permittees to carry such public liability and property damage insurance as is customary. So my guess is, JSJ has it, we have it, they have it, BOR. County shall require all contractors and permittees to assume full responsibility for any and all liability arising out of or in any way connected with their activities on or uses of federal lands. So, yes, JSJ has insurance. Both BOR and Sharon are open to updates of both contracts. We really couldn't do it last year. Once January started, things just, we ran out of time. I would suggest maybe we, in earnest, take care of this in September as soon as the campground closes. And then take care of the work manager. And make sure that everybody has a clear understanding of how this whole relationship works.
So if we redo this contract, we had talked earlier about making sure that there's a building on site, not only so that if Sharon didn't have the contract, people aren't running to the store all the time. Is that just the camp host?
No, what you're getting to is the master plan. So the master plan, once it's engineered, it will put together phases. Phase one, my understanding of what's needed more than anything is dredging of the bays. That's phase one. That's something BOR is open to, that's something Walleye Unlimited is interested in, so it would be pretty easy for the Citizens Advisory Group to come up with the money for that. Phase two would probably be the fishing area and also maybe some cabins and changing gazebo one. Because right now you have people swimming in the boat lane, getting to and from the docks. John Hedstrom was very vocal in our meetings about that being a safety issue. Building a store or facility out there would be expensive, and that probably is not one of the first phases. If we want to actively look for another concessionaire, what we have told people in the past is, you're gonna have to come up with a way to direct people not to the store with complaints, but to some other place. Anybody could do that, But they would have to have that safeguard in, because you are setting up a private business for failure if they become and maintain being the complaint zone, and people walk in and they're told, well, we don't handle that. Again, it's telling your public, it's giving your public the runaround, and that's not something we wanna do. It is a very, very good fit to have the KOA store as Silo Central. It is anyway for the neighborhood, it makes sense that it is for the campers.
So I guess we go back to this claim, do we wanna pay this claim, or what do we wanna do with it?
To not pay that claim at this point is going backwards on set precedent of many, many years. That sinking fund, that's the 10% that we are paid from the Silos Recreation Area for the rent of gazebos, camping spots, and the docks, has always, and it's in our contract, gone into the Silos Fund. And that has always been used to pay for repairs to the silos, electrical needs, well, I have a list here. Repairs to the bathroom, gazebo 1 and 2 shingles that needed repair, the north wall of gazebo 2, pay post that needed repairing, bathroom door handle, pump house door handle, toilet seats. These have been paid in the past. If we all of a sudden, without even talking, without redoing the contract, say, yeah, we're not gonna pay anything anymore, I think we are doing a huge disservice to the county, a personal disservice to JSJ, and putting the county in liability risk. And that's why it's so important when we set precedent, but that was set up, that sinking fund, is set up as part of the whole contract that started the silos and the trust board years ago. In fact, I think I saw it in Debbie's paperwork today in the in what she brought us. I also have this file on the silos, if anybody ever wants to look through it. So it's the Canyon Ferry Reservoir Montana Act of October 22, 1998. That's what established the sinking fund, it established this whole thing. And it's in the bylaws for the trust board.
Why do they call it the sinking fund?
It isn't called the sinking fund, all those funds are always called sinking funds, so CIPs are called sinking funds. I don't know why they're called that. When I first heard it, I thought it was really kind of a funny term. I thought it was comical because of sinking in the lake. But it is actually a term that's commonly used with repair and maintenance funds.
Well, you know, I guess what it brings forward is that this really is very poorly written.
Yeah.
And
And that's, you know, again, if we want to update it, let's update it, but let's not throw our partner under the bus at this stage of the game. I can find more documentation in here, but when Sharon had been so hurt last year and said, I'm done, our contract says we'll give BOR 2 years. If we don't have a concessionaire, what does that look like? That looks like Broadwater County staff doing the job we have a concessionaire for.
Well, I think we'll sign the claim, but I think this contract needs to get reworked.
I don't think anybody would debate that. But again, I think it's unfair also to do it during the busy season. So if you guys are good with it, let's put it on the schedule for this fall and get that done. Is that the course we wanna take?
I would think so, yes.
And if we wait again till January, I think we'll find the same thing. We will run out of time.
Yeah, no doubt. What do they book those in February?
February 1st is when it starts, but that's also the time that they're getting prepped for the season. And not only that, but, you know, next January, we won't have a new commissioner that we're training, and going all through all this stuff with, so it wouldn't be as crazy as this past year, but I still think, let's do it in the fall, cause it's gonna take some time.
If you're redoing contracts with the federal government,
You don't think it's really fast?
September might not be soon. I'm just saying,
Yeah, but Mike, you bring up a good point on, say, for example, we do have a different concessionaire, where are they gonna work out of? You know?
Well, they're realistic, what they'd have to do is go buy one of those sheds and set it up temporary down there somewhere where they got power.
24/7.
I mean, that's, yeah, you're gonna have to be there, well, the camp host has to be there 24/7 anyway.
Right, but the camp host has a full-time job already, you're gonna have to have
Yeah,
another
that's true.
camp host just to take care of,
And
just to take care of what that store does.
I guess that you write that up as a part of that contract, is that there will be a person on site to 24/7 specifically to handle the facility, not do the work.
Right.
You're gonna have the concessionaire plus the camp host has to be on site. Or a representative of the concessionaire plus the camp host would have to be on site.
Now, let me just say,
I don't know how you would do that. Cause even if it's the Silos Bar, the first place they're gonna go is they're gonna go to the store and they say, well, you gotta go up to the bar.
Right,
So you're kinda, it's gonna be another change, it's gonna be hard to implement.
redoing the
happens.
contract doesn't mean we have to redo the concessionaire. We can work with Sharon to update that contract.
I'm just saying that she decides she doesn't wanna do it, that's where I'm going.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, she says, I had enough, I don't wanna do it anymore, then now we're in that boat of trying to find.
yeah,
That concessionaire. Or just like if the other people would've bought it and then after a year in the Silos, they said, you know what, we don't want anything to do with the campground, we're happy with the KOA.
No, exactly.
So then we're stuck with it too. So we might as well put the provision in the contract. So is there anything else to come before the meeting?
I have an update for you guys.
Okay.
I went to that emergency services meeting down on south end of the county, and a lot of the discussion was about the new bike area down in Copper City.
Thank you, sir.
So, this is the map they presented us with, and if you look off to on the left-hand side of the page, You can visualize, this is where Highway 287 would be.
Okay,
And then the road that comes in, and then that big, that dip that goes down in the bottom with the hairpin turn, and goes up to where the trailhead is. So that's the parking lot where everybody usually stops, right? And where they've been camping.
TH,
Yeah, TH,
Okay.
the trailhead.
trailer, okay.
And then all the trails go out from there, and you can see the number of them. There's 21 miles of trails. And they are marked for difficulty, kind of like similar to the, like a ski area would be, black diamond runs and, beginner and intermediate type stuff. And they are in the process of numbering each trail and creating a map for people as well. So they do allow overnight camping. And these trails are also open to hikers and trail runners, so it's not just bikers that are sharing it. There's getting quite a bit of use. They have designated 6 helipspots out there to land a helicopter for, emergency evacuations if someone does get hurt. And it's my understanding that they've already flown the helicopters. They marked them in their GPS, they know where to go to. They didn't get them put on this map in time, but they are designated, so. Anyway, the group that is sponsoring all this is called SWIMBA, Southwest Montana Bicycle Association. And they're based out of Bozeman, and they're one of the biggest biking groups in the Northwest, just because of the area they cover. So they're a pretty big association. Those folks came to the meeting, it was interesting to talk to them, see what their vision is for what they have planned there, but they have been working with BLM to develop this. And they did get permission to possibly change that entry road there, where we're talking about the big dip, that maybe they would go a little bit further to the north and make that a easier access.
Oh,
So, but that's on them, and the development of the trailhead is on them as well.
where are these other little boundaries, are these inlying private properties?
Yeah, the squares there, yeah, those are private property owners within that BLM. So,
They talked all about the cleanup that they did.
the cleanup as far as for.
Bunch of discarded televisions,
Oh,
refrigerators,
yeah,
microwaves.
they said, they picked up a bunch of that stuff. Said it's still multi-use out there, people still come out and shoot. And, but he said that it's more respectful, people aren't bringing out the TVs and the propane tanks and all that kind of stuff and shooting it there. So, matter of fact, there are several members in that group that go out there and shoot, so it's shared use, which is still good. The very far back routes, way back, these blue ones, clear back to this corner,
Mhm.
overlooks the river. So it's 2.5 hours bicycle ride back, that's a lot.
Doesn't look like easy riding either.
And it's
No.
not, I mean, some of the more, some of the more difficult ones are there, but anyway, I guess some of their concern is people getting back there and running out of water, things like that. They did talk about some of the events that they are planning. They still are planning to have some big events there. The question was raised is what do they provide as far as for like aid? Are they gonna provide some medical assistance and things like that? And I think it has to go along with whatever the BLM policy is. I think they do have to provide some based on the amount of people there. And they said that they would provide aid stations, that had water and things like that. Some of these roads up here on the northern end of the boundary are still accessible for fire access only. They're not an improved roads, and most people wouldn't want to drive on them, but you could with the brush truck with the fire department or something like that. But it is kind of limited access back there, and so the discussion went with our search and rescue, and their side by side, things like that, to go back and extricate somebody, bring them out where they could get on the helicopter or in an ambulance. So, anyway, It's one of those things that I think they developed, didn't have any idea where it was gonna get that big this fast, and it's going to require some of our services.
Mhm.
And I did get a contact for the BLM, Brad Collin. So I do have a phone number and an email address for him as well. So he's kind of the one that's heading up the project. I'll make contact with him and then hopefully we'll have more information as, you know, as the thing develops and keep us informed.
And keep Nicole in the loop too.
Yeah.
She and Brad have a relationship.
Okay.
And she's actually very knowledgeable of what's been going on.
Okay.
So yeah, if you bring in her in the loop,
Okay.
then everybody is,
Sure.
yeah, getting the same information.
Anyway. That's all that's going on down there.
That's all?
That's all. That's quite a bit, actually, isn't it? We discussed also the emergency services building that we would like to build down there eventually. And so the first part of that component is if Bridger Brewing is gonna donate that piece of property to us to get that and get it deeded. And then we can start the process of doing the engineer work and going out for a grant.
That sounds good. That's exciting.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah. There's a lot of things cooking in this county right now,
Mhm.
and it's very exciting.
Yeah, kind of the nice thing about this group is that they're, even though they live on the other side of the river, they're supporting everything that's happening on the southern end of Broadwater County,
Mhm.
which is pretty nice. So whatever we're wanting to do down there, they're in support of, which is great. I think they just realize that, you know, it affects us all,
Right,
and they're not drawing that boundary.
yeah.
Anything else?
Not for me.
No, for me.
Okay.
We'll adjourn
Oh, closed door.
at 1:29. We'll what are we doing?
Maybe recessing, or
We're
just closing the door, yeah.
We're recessing and closing the door.